The islands of the Caribbean are on alert for coral bleaching. The threat of bleaching is set to spread from the Bahamas to Trinidad and Tobago through December 2015. Central Bahamas and northwest Cuba expect widespread bleaching and some mortality through October and November 2015. And bleaching warnings are in place further south for Belize, Turks and Caicos Islands and all the islands of the Lesser Antilles. Scientists across the Caribbean are concerned over warming waters, particularly out in the Pacific. We have the El Nino, which is set to strengthen over the next few months and into 2015. This is going to have an effect on our coral reefs, so therefore scientists are concerned about the effects of coral bleaching across the Caribbean. Record high sea surface temperatures in the Pacific are consistent with the strong El Nino. Locally, the Institute of Marine Affairs, IMA, warns that corals around Trinidad and Tobago are under threat.
The southern Antilles, like where we are located right now, the current trajectory, the current outlook has us on a bleaching warning, but we're not on high alert as yet.
In the Caribbean Sea, coral thrive in water temperature from 23 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. But coral will struggle in hotter water, says marine ecologist Jason Nalemu.
Our threshold is in the vicinity of 29 degrees. If you have sea surface temperatures at 29 sustained for a fairly long time, up to 4 weeks, you're very likely to have some sort of bleaching response. If the temperature goes above that, even 1 degree above that for too long, right, you can have a bleaching event, a heat-induced bleaching event.
In healthy coral reefs, coral and algae depend on each other to survive. These algae are the coral's primary food source and give coral their color. When coral is stressed due to increased ocean temperature or pollution, algae leaves the coral's tissues. Without the algae, the coral loses its major source of food, turns white or very pale, and is more susceptible to disease, so-called bleached coral. Under high temperatures, more sunlight shines on the water, which also contributes to bleaching in shallow water corals.
We use the sea surface temperature data together with the met data to sort of eco-forecast the likelihood of a bleaching event happening in our waters. What we would look at would be the trends in temperature. For how long the temperature has been increasing and for how long it's been staying at that temperature and whether it's been cooling. That coupled with the biological information, which would be eyes in water basically, whether it's researchers or recreationalists, observing whether they're seeing any sort of bleaching or any sort of paling of corals or other soft corals or other species. These things in combination give us a better idea of what's happening.
Meanwhile, scientists intend to manage the entire coastline, according to Dr. Juman. This would help to reduce extra stress on the reefs during bleaching.
So when you have deforestation, you would have, of course, increased sedimentation that would come out, and that, of course, would add stress to the reef. Also to pollution, mainly from sewage and from grey water, the runnings from your house that many times are nutrient rich. And then you have people actively on the reef as well. So you have physical damage. Well, we don't have as much reef walking, but we still have issues sometimes with dropping of anchor and physical breakage, breaking of the corals and so on. The whole intent is to build resilience, remove the stress that we can remove, so that the system is not stressed. So if you have a bleaching event, it would not be the impact would not be as intense as a stress system.
The last mass bleaching event across the Caribbean was 2010 to 2011. Current signals in 2015 are suggesting something similar, but with these outlooks we have to be concerned with just the possibility of this happening once again. For the Environment Report, I am Ean Wallace.